13-year-old Vesper is a gifted and intelligent self-made biohacker, who lives in the Dark Age world where the ecosystem has collapsed. Worms and other non-lethal organisms are apparently consumed by people in order to survive. She looks after her ill, paralyzed father Darius in a remote forest home. But thanks to technology, Darius' consciousness is now transferred to a drone that can speak and interact with people by changing its voice. Vesper stores some of his gathered goods in a hidden storeroom. A person completely dressed in black was seen when he heard something outside. They're known as pilgrims. Old materials are being collected and carried by them. His father rejected his attempts to get in touch with him. When they got back home, they noticed the front door was wide open, and they assumed someone had broken into their house. Vesper and the drone looked everywhere within the house, but no one was there. But Vesper found that all of his bacteria had vanished, and also destroyed their generator. When Vesper runs out of bacteria to power the generator that connects the body to the drone, she goes to Darius' brother Jonas, who lives nearby. When he got to her uncle's house, he discovered a jug on the floor surrounded by Jonas's children. Jugs are ghostly, white, artificial intelligences that are designed to serve the proprietors of citadels. Then Jonas gave the harsh order to one of his numerous offspring to kill the captured jug. Sadly, Jonas is a nasty and jaded guy who takes advantage of his kids to get food, and sells their blood to the citadel in exchange for valuable seeds good for only one harvest. When Vesper entered the room, she gave blood in exchange for bacteria and to power the generator. She meets bashful boy Skinny, who attends her for a while. She asked Jonas for her bacteria and he agreed to deliver it to her in 2 days after selling her blood to the citadel. However, Vesper had to get it right away in order for her father to survive. When she tried to take her blood, Jonas kicked her out of his home. Vesper entered the Jonas property covertly through the backyard. Skinny was standing in front of her as she entered the storage area, but he said nothing and let her in. She snatches the necessary power for the generator. She also occasionally steals seeds to analyze in her own greenhouse. When his father advised her to return the stolen seeds before Jonas found them, she decided she would try to unlock the seeds and make them viable instead. She is confident Citadel will acknowledge her and permit her to work in the labs as a consequence. She was warned by his father to avoid dreaming of impossibilities. Later, everything grows complex when Vesper discovers Camellia, a young girl from the Citadel, injured from a crash landing and in need of medical attention. Vesper made the decision to bring her home, which infuriated his father. Camellia wants to go for her father right away as she wakes up because he should be around. Due to her father's strong mistrust of the Citadel, this causes a small rift between Vesper and her. Vesper agrees to assist in the search for her father the next day. Later, Camellia informed her that she would take both her and her father to the Citadel. Vesper explored the woods with her drone and discovered the crash site. When she tried to help the person inside, Jonas and his kids showed up. He brutally murders Camelia's father. Vesper made an effort to stop Jonas, but she failed. She questioned why, given that she didn't know the individual, she was still attempting to stop him. When he checks, Jonas notices that another passenger is absent and inquires as to how she discovered the crash scene. Later, her father advises her to alert the Citadel, but Jonas is the only one equipped with a transceiver. Vesper explained to Camellia that the region is quite large and she was unable to locate her father. Later that night, Vesper brings Camellia to her greenhouse to display her research on living organisms. Vesper questioned her over the reality of the Citadel's ability to produce life. Vesper was unfamiliar with many creatures, including cats, dogs, owls, and others, so Camellia imitates them to show her what they sound like. The following day, Vesper sneaks as she often does, but Jonas catches both Vesper and the drone. Jonas talked to her about how Skinny was monitoring his seedlings when they suddenly vanished. He claims that bugs took them, but he didn't believe it. Vesper returned to the woods and discovered Skinny dead on the ground. It is evident that Jonas, who killed Skinny in retaliation for allowing Vesper to steal the seeds, cleared Skinny's blood to trade with the Citadel. Given all of that, it should come as no surprise that the kids are vicious bullies who attacked and marked Vesper as Jonas had instructed because she refused to submit to this twisted status quo. When Vesper got back to her home, Camellia asked her if she located the transceiver. Instead she said that her father had passed away. He was discovered adrift on a body of water. He was pulled from the water by her. Vesper learned the truth about Camellia, who is actually a jug, a synthetic person. Because she misled her about taking them to the Citadel, Vesper becomes angry with her. Camellia's creation as an intelligent jug is a serious offense in the Citadel, hence, they crashed while fleeing. Later, Vesper discovered that the Citadel seeds could only be accessed through the DNA of Camellia's. Vesper is instructed to flee the area by his father Darius because Jonas will now cause them problems. Jonas entered their house when Vesper was away and discovered Camellia, the missing passenger. By cutting off the supply that kept his brother Darius alive, he attempted to kill him. Camellia, however, struck an agreement to follow him. When Vesper enters unexpectedly, a brawl breaks out between her, Camellia, and Jonas. After both of the girls manage to stop him, Vesper strikes a new agreement with Jonas in which she informed him of the Camellia's secret, which would guarantee sufficient food for everyone. Later, it became clear that Jonas was already in touch with and working for the Citadel. Darius advised her and Camellia to go since he knew what was going to happen. Although Vesper didn't want to part ways with him, her father advised him to travel south of the Citadel and exchange the seeds for safety. Unexpectedly, Jonas was killed by the troops of the Citadel when they arrived. His father gave himself up so that they might escape. Camellia warns Vesper not to touch the red grass as they flee the Citadel soldiers' pursuit in the forest because it shoots out like a bullet and kills one of them. When Vesper threw the rifle at the red grass, it also killed the other soldier. Camellia subdues Vesper at the movie's conclusion and accepts her fate. She appeared to be escorted out by one Citadel member. When Vesper awoke at dawn, she buried the altered seeds since she thought there would be no use for them in a world without her loved ones. Vesper changes her mind when a small group of kids come across her. It seemed to her that fighting for the future is still worthwhile. Together, Vesper and the kids travel to a temporary tower constructed by a nomadic colony of outcasts. As she ascends the tower to symbolize her ascent in this bleak planet, Vesper scatters the seeds to the wind. Vesper has put the past behind her and sown the seeds necessary to save humanity. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Take care and I'll see you in the next video.